Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to May Long Weekend. Awesome interview, May 23rd today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim.
And I'm Mike.
It is nice outside in Edmonton, so we just want to say thank you so much for taking some time to join us for this interview. I'm excited. I'm super excited to learn about Payne's journey, hurdles. He's gone through a lot at such a young age, and so it'll be exciting to learn about him.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Just a little bit reminders. So if you guys can share this video, subscribe to our YouTube, to Facebook, to Instagram, wherever you are, do those three things. That would really help this video be pushed out for more people to see.
Exactly. And we'll get more people coming back and doing more interviews. So remember, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, and share, comment. Our ideal thing is we want to share this with people who don't know members of our faith, just so that they can get to know us better. So feel free to share on your personal Facebook pages too if you like this interview.
Yeah, please. And if you're watching, comment where you're from, and what's your favorite sport to watch during the Olympics?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine's lawn bowling. No, I'm totally joking. You guys.
Mine's chess. Do they even have chess? Yeah.
They might. So. It's a hard game. Yeah. No.
But also, if you have questions, that's what I was going to say. If you have questions for Jackson, if we have time, just put them in the comments below. And if we have time at the end, we'll get to them. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Without further ado, I think we should bring on our guest because that's why you guys are watching, right? So.
Yeah. Well, before the guest, we're going to play a little introduction video first.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, you don't want to miss it, and you are here, so thanks for not missing it. Let's bring out Jackson Payne, everybody. Yay! Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, okay, I'm super excited. I know we have a lot to talk about, but we like to get to know people just on a personal level before we start getting into the juicy stuff of the interview. We want to find out, what is your favorite food dish?
Yeah, what does an Olympic athlete?
What's his favorite?
I want to know this.
I hope it's not cheeseburgers.
Yeah, no, I really like food. Favorite dish is always hard. I'm gonna have to go with my Korean likings, and you can never go wrong with a bibimbap. With a bibimbap. A bibimbap dish is basically rice with a bunch of vegetables and some sort of meat. And usually in Korea they serve it in this really hot bowl. And that hot bowl is the rice gets all crispy on the bottom. It's really good. And so usually I break up food and then like junk food, favorite food. And for me, that's like a nice cinnamon bun or some ice cream.
Oh, yeah, that sounds really good too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to Google the first one, but the second and third one I won't have.
Spicy, though, that bowl that you were describing to us, do they use a lot of spices? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, they serve it actually completely plain, and then you can put your own, what they call gochujang on there. And it's a sauce that's got red chili paste in it, and it's and so you can make it as spicy or as mild as you want.
Wow.
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice. I love learning about dishes from all over the world. So that's something I have no idea how to spell, but I will write that down and we'll try it.
Shortly after, yeah.
Yeah.
So Jackson, before I ask you the first question, I'm dying to know. So when you were, because I know your brothers, and when you were a little kid, did you dress up in like a ninja costume and like flip around them and like flip over them
with all your skills?
I totally
I don't remember that a whole lot, but I do remember loving Batman as a kid, and I'm pretty sure I dressed up as Batman and Peter Pan a couple times because I loved how he could fly, and then Batman because I just thought he was super cool. But yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Just like every boy. Those are awesome.
Yeah. So Jackson, at what point in your life did you know that gymnastics was for you, for your future?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was kind of two moments that that really made me feel like gymnastics, was going to be part of my life for a long time. And I think the first moment there was when I was or when I qualified or was able to go to my first national championships. And that was only when I was 9 years old. And that seems pretty young for somebody to kind of decide on what you want to do and I don't think being 9 years old, I don't think I had that conscious decision or that conscious like thing of like, oh, this is what I want to do. It was more looking back on it. That was kind of a pivotal moment, I would say. And then the next one was probably my first international competition. And that was when I was 12. And I had the opportunity to go to Germany, Berlin, Germany, for my first international competition. And that, since then I knew that like this was my whole focus. And I mean, I played soccer, basketball. I was on my school volleyball and basketball team, and I loved playing soccer. And it was probably towards the age of 15 that I like completely put those things away, so to speak, and 100% on gymnastics. But I think it was around the age of 12 where I was like, myself, my family, friends were like, oh, this is getting kind of serious for him. And so, yeah.
Wow. Amazing. I can't even think of what I was doing at the age of 12. Maybe completing my homework. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But what a great example of like just hard work and determination, even at a young age. Like you can see those gifts come out, and that's awesome that you continue to pursue that. Obviously, of what you've resulted in your life, which we'll talk about a bit more. So tell us, what is like a typical day of training, especially if Olympics was your goal? What was your life kind of looking like then when you had to train for that?
Yeah, so the typical day of training, well, it changed as I went on. When I was in school, grade school, I'll call it. I went to school in the mornings, and then trained basically all afternoon. And that was kind of the day. There wasn't much variation to that. As I got into, I'll call pre-married life, my day completely evolved around training and whether that's at the gymnastics gym or at a workout gym. And then of course some university on the side, and but as I got and then as I got married, it was similar things, and I guess, but training hours during the day was roughly 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and that was the focus. That was everything I was putting into it, and of course the physiotherapy and the recovery time that goes into it. It ends up adding up throughout the week, and And then, of course, training camps here and there as I go to other places in Canada to meet up with our national team. Training during the day was for sure 2 times a day, 6 hours throughout the day. And yeah.
So how many times did you have your coach on your shoulders doing those squats? Because in that video, I was like, oh my goodness, how could he do that?
Yeah, that's so I had two Chinese coaches for the majority of my career. Well, basically for 98% of my career was 2 Chinese coaches. One of them was from the time I was 8 years old till 25 or so, and that's just a perfect illustration of of them, their mentality. Like we just it's we do whatever like that works in the gym to improve yourself, and that's just one of the things. They always would stand on my shoulders and do something, and so.
Oh my goodness!
No whipping though, right? It was just
no. I hope not.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So Jackson, describe to us the different hurdles or the different trials that you faced while pursuing this dream of yours.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot. There was the physical aspect of it all, where injuries or just the physical aspect of the sport and developing the skills that you need to compete, and those were for sure some hurdles. The other side of it was a lot to do with mental, like being mentally prepared, and that became more prevalent as I got higher and higher and more elite and older. Your mind starts to cloud as you get older, realizing certain things, and so those. A strong example of the physical side is that I ruptured my Achilles in June of 2015, and then so I had to recover from that, and was able to do so okay enough to get back for the next year, and but then, of course, in my opinion, some of the harder hurdles are, the mental aspect and mental emotional aspect of it, and some may not realize, or they do realize that how hard it is sometimes to compete at a high level, and how and what I mean by that is the mental aspect of it all, and the pressure and things like that.
Yeah.
I watched an interview with you, and you were just describing just kind of what you were going through when that happened. What did happen? Like, how did you pull your Achilles and rupture your Achilles?
Yeah.
Even worse. And then, how long did it take for you to kind of get back to, like, that's crazy how that you came back from that.
Yeah,
some people, their career's done. That's inspiring itself.
Yeah, there was a couple people within the gymnastics world and outside the gymnastics world that thought that maybe that was kind of the way out for me, and so how it happened was I was at a training camp with our national team in Calgary, and it was the day after like what we call a mock meet, so like an internal competition. That we were preparing for the 2015 Pan Am Games. I don't know if you remember, but it was held in Toronto, and it was a big thing in Canada. And I was preparing and had goals to medal, on my best events there. And it was about 2 weeks before the Pan Am Games, I think, and I was on floor just training my dismount tumbling line, so my last tumbling line of my routine, and went for a round off and punched the ground with my feet, and that's just kind of when it ruptured, and I just remember kind of kind of floating in the air, making sure I landed on my back, and then just grabbed my leg, and it didn't hurt. Like, to be honest, it didn't hurt. I just knew what happened, and had seen something like that before. I knew I had to grab my foot, or else I mean, it wouldn't have helped a ton, but it tried to stabilize it not going all the way up your calf, the Achilles. And so, and how long I mean, it took 6 months before I was walking without a limp, and then it was 6 months before I started doing really light landings. It was about 9 months later that I competed, but not on floor and vault. And then it was about 11 months later that it was national championships, and I actually ended up winning national championships. That was held in Edmonton. But it was definitely it felt like forever coming back. It wasn't easy.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think Jackson's being a little bit humble.
Just a little.
Well, no, I've heard from a lot of people that he said his goal was to medal, but a lot of people are saying that he was so good, that he was so ready, that he was. I know it's not ever guaranteed, but you're in such prime shape that you were probably going to medal, and so. But what a great, inspiring story, and how you came back, and you said you just won the nationals eventually.
Yeah,
wow.
That in itself is an amazing example of just perseverance and determination. Even through life's hurdles and trials and curveballs, you knew what your goal was, and you knew that nothing was going to stop you. So from what you're explaining to us, of course, it wasn't easy. There was the mental and physical aspect, but that's a great example of just persevering and still sticking to your goals. And that kind of leads us to our next question. We'd like to know, how has your testimony of the Savior helped you throughout those life's hurdles or life decisions that you've had to make? Because it sounds like you've gone through quite a bit in your very young age.
Yeah, it's well, that's my testimony in Jesus Christ, and my relationship with Heavenly Father, I think, have been a huge support and huge, I guess, lifeline of how to get through a lot of these things. And it's hard to elaborate on that because of how just it is just it's a huge role. And I could probably say, without getting too emotional, my family knows that it's hard for me to hold it together on these types of things. But I don't think I would have been able to get through without that. And maybe I would have been able to get through, but not with the perspective or the meaning behind all of it, and not learning as much as I could throughout the journey, really.
So looking back at your life, we'd have to say that at your prime in your career, when it comes to gymnastics, I know one of your life decisions was to stop everything and serve a mission. How was gymnastics involved in your mission as well? We kind of heard a neat story, so if you want to share that.
Yeah. So I guess, dating back to the 2012 Olympics, we as a team barely missed the Olympics by like half a point or something. And long story short, I thought I had a really good chance to be the one gymnast that they sent instead of the whole team, and ended up not being that gymnast, of course. And myself being, I think I was 20 at the time, pretty young, and felt like my entire world had just fallen apart. And so, I just was like, I just felt like it was the next right step.
Yeah.
And the other part of it was kind of nice to get away. And I assumed that I was going to go outside of province, or outside of Canada, but I didn't know I was going to go to South Korea. And that was, and the whole mission experience with gymnastics um, was like, like totally didn't expect it, pretty much unbelievable. I, I, I stopped gymnastics and then started gymnastics on my mission, and the the amount of the experiences that came out of that were, um, I'll remember forever. And I actually got to compete 3 times on my mission internationally, even competing at a World Cup in Japan. And it was crazy. That's probably a discussion for later. I don't want to spend too much time on that, but there's a lot that came out of that, which was awesome.
So you got,
that is neat. Yeah.
So you got special permission then, obviously, from like.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was. Wow. Yeah. It was kind of like one step after another. My mission president found out kind of who I was, what I did, and we just kind of like took it as it came, and the opportunities arise. We went the proper steps, got the proper permission, and it just kind of started to fall into place, and it was really, really neat.
Well, that's definitely a way to share the gospel too. You could be like, watch me at this competition, and then after I'll give you this book you can read.
Yeah. we did have investigators at the competitions in Korea, which is awesome.
There you go. See, awesome. The Lord works in mysterious ways, so that's unique for sure.
So our last question, well, I'm going to ask you kind of 2 in 1. So what advice would you give to others pursuing Olympic dream or any type of athletic career? And our last one, what is in Jackson Payne's future?
Yeah, so my little bit of advice would be, I think for every athlete, they'll understand when I say like listen to your body, and really get to know your body physically and emotionally, and just listen. And I think that's really important as an athlete, and a young athlete. That's hard. As you get older, you'll start to understand kind of what that means, and the other bit of advice that I'll give is build up a great team around you. You can't do it yourself, and that's what I had was an amazing team with physiotherapists, family, friends that supported me throughout the entire way. And for me, what's next is I've started my own business, and it's a on-demand delivery service within Edmonton and actually other parts of Canada, and it's a mobile app, and it's called Delio, and so that's what I've done. I started that in October, and that's my next passion for sure.
So that's like kind of like skip the dishes, but you like basically deliver anything.
That's right. That's right. It's like I guess right now you can compare it more to like Uber and delivers anything. We don't take commission off of the business partners that we work with, and so it's not exactly like Skip in that sense where you order from our app. It's basically you can get anything delivered except for restaurant ready food. And we work with all sorts of businesses around Edmonton and Calgary and other places in Canada, actually.
So if I wanted to like send her a chocolate bar, I could.
I don't know
flowers
about.
Yeah, flowers. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're starting to work with some flower companies, and you don't even have to.
Go ahead.
Like anything curbside pickup, you order something curbside pickup and you don't have to go grab it. You Delio it, right? And you grab it, get it in the same day.
Nice. That sounds super convenient. We'll definitely have to check that out. And I believe you're busy with 2 young kids. Is that correct now?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I have 2 little girls. 2 little girls. One's
flips already.
Yeah. Yeah. Joan's 3 or almost 3, and she's she loves, whenever she sees gymnastics, she says, "Oh, that's dad. That's dad." Which is really fun to hear. But she's 3, Mindy's 1, a little over 1, and yeah, they definitely keep us busy, which is fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jackson. We don't want to take too much more of your time, but we do truly appreciate you taking the time to share your journey and your advice and your experience, but especially also sharing your testimony with us and how the Savior's helped you in your life. And we hope that that has touched people who are watching as well, to keep in mind that as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, we're so grateful for our Savior, and we're grateful that we're able to get to know people outside and in society and community. And we know that Jackson will do some great things as well. And so we look forward to using that app and seeing more of you. So thanks for joining us, Jackson.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no, thank you for inspiring us today. You truly are an inspiration, and we're so glad that we were able to find time, or you were able to find time to do this interview with us. So thank you.
And thanks, everyone watching. Everyone is watching. Thanks again. It's May long weekend, so we really do appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on your personal Facebook pages. The Church of Jesus Christ Edmonton, where we'll continue to bring interviews and inspiring posts, stories, just to uplift your day, and use social media for good. That's the main goal for all these platforms that we're using. And we'll see you again, I guess, in the next interview. And that's pretty much it. Okay. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.